Well, Central and South are humming, West is back and North is upon us. It is all happening in NBL1. Hello and welcome to the NBL1 Show. I'm Megan Hustwaite and this is Pete Hooley.
Good to be back, Megan. There's so much happening. I can't wait for North to start with some big names we'll touch on later in the show. NBL1 West is back. I'm sure they're happy to be back on court after what's happened the last couple of weekends. And then South and Central, just big performances, game winners. It's all happening.
It is all happening. We've got lots to unpack today and two special guests coming up, but let's crack into it and start with NBL1 West. It is back and we are happy about it. And we're going to take a look at some of the big names that got us back into action at the weekend, starting with Jeremy Grace from Mandurah, 33 points and 5 rebounds.
They put up a big game, and that's what you want to do when NBL1 West had the couple of weeks off and you'd be itching to get back on the court. It's a big game from him. And Kayla Steindl, 24 points, 14 rebounds, continuing her good form this season.
Alex Sharp from Willetton, a double-double, 24 points and 14 boards against Rockingham. And Tayah Burrows, she had a massive weekend.
Huge weekend from her. We'll talk to her in a little bit. Had 19 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists versus Willetton. Followed it up with 28, 8 and 6 and 4 steals to go with it. Looking forward to chatting with her. Superstar on the rise.
Now, we love the highlights and all the vision that we see across NBL1 socials every weekend, and I reckon the best going around in the weekend was this from Rachel Brewster, her game-winning 3 for Nuttawading. It was a massive game. The Spectres and the Super Cats, and it had a bit of everything.
Well, it did. I mean, it's a tale of two halves. Geelong led by 6 at half-time, and Nuttawading outscored the Super Cats 41-32. That's a huge game winner. Feet weren't even facing the right way. Just turn around, launch it, nothing but net. An away venue, that is one way to silence a crowd, and the Super Cats crowd, that's a hostile crowd. That is a massive game winner. Good weekend for the Spectres women.
The celebration shots too. For me.
Because you never really can plan that, because you never know if it's going to come down to it, who's going to shoot it. So it's all just on pure raw emotion. Big time 3-ball.
So Brewster finished with 16 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists. As you said, a great win for the Spectres and a good weekend. 2 from 2 and they are now 8th on the ladder. Let's head now to NBL1 Central, and it was a Forestville dunk party.
Well, we're going to see a lot of dunks and highlights out of NBL1 Central. 2 of the biggest dunks so far we've seen. Craig Mays, extraordinary athlete. That is a big-time dunk, head at the rim. And it was over Sam Daly, but both these guys put up some big numbers as well. And Brandon Bryant, he's an athlete. One who played some South Australia basketball with me, played in Canada, had 14 points and 15 rebounds as well. Some extraordinary athletes. It's just, I'm saying it with jealousy because I touched the backboard on the weekend and I felt really good about myself. But we're seeing some big highlights, some big numbers out of NBL1 Central, and there's some big athletes on both Sturt and Forestville going at it.
Couldn't help Forestville get over the line though. Sturt winning at 96-91 to keep their unbeaten streak alive. They are flying.
They are flying. Young group, that's what you want, a young group coming in and putting in performances like that. And they're going to come up against some big teams who are playing well. And if they can continue to roll, watch out for the Sabres.
Speaking of big wins, big teams and big stars, let's head over to NBL1 Central and catch up with one of the big names, and it's a very big welcome to Earnest Ross.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys having me on the show. Really appreciate that.
Big weekend. Take us through that triple-double as we take a look at some of the highlights.
Honestly, it was just, me finding my rhythm, just getting my teammates involved. Obviously, we lost a couple games we felt like we should won. And so just trying to find a new style on how we can win more games and, be efficient, not just myself, but my teammates as well. And so everything was flowing that night. And maybe this might just be a new way we just going to have to play from now on out.
Well, it looked like a fun style. You talk about the style of play. It was fun to play in. And we know it's impacted everyone with the COVID situation, but you're playing on your home court. The fans are there. That must help that fun style of play that you're talking about translate into wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I mean, being at home is a benefit, a big benefit. So it's like just to be able to, have the fans come out there and support us, and just to be able to win on your home court is huge for us. And so hopefully we can continue this run and more wins to come out.
What is the buzz like around NBL1 in South Australia? You've played throughout, formerly Seabull, and we'll talk about your teams as a journeyman in a minute. But what's the buzz like over there?
Oh, it's great. Obviously, we have a lot of teams that are, close around the area and stuff like that. So, I mean, this is actually one of my first times playing out here in Australia, in Adelaide, I mean. So it's like, basketball's pretty big over here. It's good to see other parts of the, country and stuff like that. And just being out here in Adelaide has been nothing but love and appreciation and support from, the people all over. So I really appreciate that and, look forward to doing, bigger things out here.
Well, it's the best city in Australia, no doubt, Adelaide. So you're in a good place. But you have been all around Australia when you played in NBL1 in the Seaball. So we see a lot of imports who have gone to the South Australia now, NBL1 Central, and stay there. Alex Starling's one who's jumping around teams but really enjoying himself. Do you see yourself kind of staying put now, or are you enjoying being able to travel the country and play in different leagues?
Well, right now for me, I'm just taking it one step at a time. Obviously this is an amazing place to be to play basketball. And, like you said, I have traveled all around Australia. So, the people here are amazing. I love being around the people, the coaches, the teammates, even the community and stuff like that. I do a lot of coaching and stuff. So it's just amazing just being out here. And, for now, obviously this is the place to be for me.
Well, we talk about the NBL1, now there's NBL1 West, we know the South, North's about to start. All these teams that you've played on in NBL1 West, Ballarat as well. You have a chance, if you win NBL1 Central, to play these teams around the country in the finals. How good is it to see NBL1 as that national competition now, that if you win it all, you get to play against other states and potentially old teammates of yours?
Oh man, that would be amazing. That's the goal of mine. That's the goal for our team. And so, we have our sights on, bigger things. And so obviously we just got to focus on the task at hand, which is winning games right now. And then once we get to that point in time where we have to, travel and play against other teams, we'll focus on that. But, if I get that opportunity, it's going to be an amazing feeling and got to do my thing.
So I'm from Ballarat. You guys both played for Ballarat. How cold was it when you lived there?
I don't know for Pete. I don't know how it is for you, man. But for me, that was the first time I didn't know Australia could get that cold. So that was coming back off injury, obviously, going to Ballarat. I was like, hold on. I thought Australia was nice all the time.
Ballarat is, without a doubt, the coldest place on the face of the earth, but you get looked after there, and I'm sure you did as well. What does Earnest Ross do when you're not playing and training basketball? You're playing for West Adelaide. What do you like to do away from the game, maybe to get that mental break or just to keep fresh leading into a big season like this?
Yeah, well, for me, man, obviously I'm a family guy, man. I like to do things with my daughter, my wife, and stuff like that. And, if I'm not doing stuff like that, I spend time with them as far as like going out to grill, going to the beach. I'm just really a homebody guy, homebody person. If I'm not doing that, then I'm cooking. I love to cook on my spare time. So, man, I'm just a homebody. I don't really do too much, just relax and just focus. I do a lot of coaching and stuff like that.
So what's the number one signature dish then? What are you cooking for us?
Okay, a signature dish for me would probably be roasted duck and vegetables.
Whoa.
Wait.
Well, I can make you a really good coffee. Are you a coffee guy? That's about as far as I get.
A little bit every now and then when I need it,
Okay, so I'll do dessert. So we've kind of got
the whole
the
thing
dinner
working.
party sorted, which is good to know.
Now, you always had a little stint with the Perth Wildcats and working with them in the NBL. How closely do you still follow the league? And we talk about aspirations. We know you're 30, but putting up some really big numbers. What would you like to get to in terms of your career? And how much do you still follow the league and the success of teams around the NBL?
Well, obviously just being out here in Australia and stuff like that, and me just being a fan of the game itself, you stay in tune with obviously, one of the biggest leagues in the world in the NBL. So, I always stay into tune as far as like, the imports that they get, how's the teams doing and stuff like that. So just me being a fan, I'm always in tune with that. As far as my aspirations and stuff moving forward, it's more about, wherever the game takes me. I'm a person that's just believe in God, believe in faith, and just move as time is being progressed for me. And so whether my time is being appreciated to play in the NBL or whether I have to go overseas and play as I've been doing for the past 3 or 4 years, it's really whatever the situation and wherever I continue to be able to play the game at 100% for me.
Well, it sounds like as long as there's a sun as well and a beach, then he's going to be all right.
Absolutely.
Like that.
In terms of the rest of the NBL1 season, what are some of the boxes that you want to tick off?
Obviously, just continuing to win more games. That's number one for me, continuing to win more games. Once we continue to win more games, my second goal would be to, reach the playoffs, reach the finals. And then from there, obviously, it would be to win a championship. That's always my goal every season. And until that goal is ticked off, it's always going to be there. And even when I do reach it, I still want more. And so that's just how it's going to be from now on.
Well, it was a big triple-double over the weekend. Plenty more to come. We love what you're doing on the court, and sounds like you're having a lot of fun off the court as well. So we appreciate your time. We're going to keep a close eye on how you're doing, and maybe we'll get to see you play against some old teammates in the finals. So thanks very much, and good luck the rest of the season.
Sounds good. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, from one interview to another, let's head west and catch up with Tayah Burrows. Welcome, Tayah. You must have been very happy to be out there at the weekend.
Yeah, really happy to be back on court. I know the girls are really happy to get a couple wins on the weekend, which is good. Obviously, we didn't start off great in round one, so to get a few wins on the weekend was really good to be back playing as well.
We spoke a little bit before we started talking to you about how it was. You thought you were going to play last weekend, and then it comes to another weekend off. How has that been, that mental shift? Because you got to play one round, and then you got to wait, and now you're playing some really good basketball. It's got to be frustrating, but you guess you understand the world we're still living in.
Yeah, 100%. I think at the moment we just got to have that mindset that really anything can happen, and we don't really know what tomorrow holds, and things change quickly. But yeah, like on the weekend, it kind of did feel like it was first game again. Like you had those nerves, like, it felt like it was first like round one kind of thing. But no, like I said, it's just good to be out there and playing basketball. I love it. It's good.
You had a massive weekend. How did you kind of get your mindset ready to come back out onto court and be ready to go? Because it's kind of like, as you touched on, round one and starting things all over again.
Yeah, I think Tom, our coach, just tried to make sure that we were all really just ready to go. Like I just said, like things are changing so quickly. He just said, be prepared. Like we didn't know if we were playing one game or two games this weekend, but he just said, you know what, be ready for anything because you don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, I think just being prepared, and yeah, that's really the main thing.
Well, speaking of being prepared, you play for the Perth Lynx in the hub life for the WNBL. How was that hub life? Obviously a lot different to now playing at home. You get your fans around, and obviously the COVID's still affecting what's happening in WA. But hub life for the Lynx when you're playing on like more of a neutral venue, how did you find that experience?
Personally, I love the hub. Like I would literally go back in a heartbeat. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I want to go to college now, just kind of felt like that environment, being with your teammates, eating, sleeping, playing, training. Like I just thrived on that. I just loved that environment. Yeah, I'd go back in a heartbeat. And yeah, I love Cairns and Townsville. I thought it was awesome. It was sweet.
If that's not an advertisement for the WNBL, the hub, I don't know what is, but it was eat, breathe, sleep basketball. You mentioned college. Tell us a bit about the situation with you and college right now. Yeah, so obviously when I got picked up from Lynx, it kind of put the whole college scene, not to bed, but kind of put it to the side, I guess, and WNBL was my focus. But as a kid, I always thought I was going to go to college. Like that was my pathway. That's what I wanted to do. I said to my mum when I was 5 years old, like, I'm going to America. I'm playing college, whatever. And yeah, I guess when WNBL did come and I got picked up by the Lynx, it kind of got pushed to the side a bit. But then after seeing my friends, I have some close mates who have gone over and now in their second year and stuff, I think it's made me realise I do want to give it a go, and I might regret it if I don't go. So I'm like, why not? Might as well give it a crack and see what happens. And hopefully I'll be able to come back after and play WNBL again. So that's the plan.
Well, it's kind of a different way than a lot of the young Australians do this, because you see them either go straight to college and then it kind of college prepares them for professional life. You've had a little taste of professional life, now going to college and ready to continue it after that. How do you think that year with the Perth Lynx has really set you up for being able to go and have a big impact over there in college?
Yeah, like you said, it is a little bit different. Like most kids would go to college first, but I think it is going to hold me in good stead over there. Like I've trained every day with professionals like Katie Ebzery and Lauren Mansfield, like two of the best point guards in Australia. Like I learned so much every day hustling them. And I think that's really going to hold me in good stead over there, just being in that professional environment for a few years. So, yeah.
Well, you kind of took my next question away from me, but you got to play a year with Katie Ebzery, Opal's guard. How was that learning from her day in and day out? You talk about not only just playing as a professional, but the way you carry yourself on and off the court as a professional athlete. What else did you learn from that elite point guard?
I think she's probably one of probably the best I know at being a professional on and off the court. Just the way she looks after herself after games, just like so many little things, the way she's so prepared before games. Like in the hub, I was in her car before games and like her, like she's just so focused and like ready to go. I literally can't thank her enough. Like she kind of took me under a wing in the hub, and I learned so much on and off the court from her. So really grateful.
So you've trained and played with one of the best in Katie Ray, but what did you learn from some of the players you came up against in the WNBL hub, and who were some of the players that you did match up on during the hub season?
So kind of funny story, to be honest. About a year ago, I was heading to just NBL1 training with my coach, and we're talking about goals and people that I look up to and want to shape my game around. And the main one is Leilani Mitchell. Like she's always been one that I've looked up to, just the way she like facilitates and gets the ball to her teammates, but gets the rim, just a flat out smart player. She's always been someone I look up to. So definitely her. And I said to Keegan, my NBL1 coach back at the time, I was like, my goal is like to be like Leilani Mitchell and just play on her one day would be awesome. And a year passes and I'm starting against her, and it was kind of a surreal moment, to be honest. I was pretty nervous, but the way she gets her team going on the court is definitely something I learned from her. How she's so calm in stressful situations is definitely something I was watching closely.
Well, a couple of elite guards to be inspired by and try and get your game to revolve around them. And I thought you did a great job in the WNBL hub. I enjoyed watching you play, but now you're playing NBL1 West and you're putting up some big numbers. What are your personal goals, knowing at the end of this, you're trying to go back over to America and set up that college life? What do you want to get out of NBL1 West this year?
So obviously as a team, the main goal would be to win the championship this year, and then I'll head off to college. I'm just hoping to play some really consistent basketball this year. I am a true point guard and I want to be known as that. So facilitating, running the team and really taking on more of a leadership role this year. We're quite a young team. So hoping to take on that role and just help my teammates and hopefully get that championship and then head off to college at the end of the year.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you play in the NBL1 West and then college. So what are you studying? Do you know what you want to study in college? Because that's one side of it is the basketball and then the other side is all the academics. What are you going to be studying in school?
So at the moment, I have to study for a year to get over there for my eligibility. So I'm just doing a Bachelor of Arts here, which is just a whole heap of random subjects, basically. I have no idea what I want to major in. I've kind of just always said I'm going to play basketball, and my mum was like, Tayah, you can't just do that. You got to actually study something. So I don't know what I want to do. I think I'm just going to kind of figure it out when I get over there. And Washington State have been really helpful, and they're going to help me sort that out when I get over there.
Well, you got plenty of time to figure it out. I studied hip hop in my first summer school. That was one of my subjects. And then I went on to getting a master's. So you got plenty of time to figure it out. We look forward to all of that, especially with what you're doing on the floor. We look forward to your success. Going to have a massive career ahead of you. Thank you so much for joining us.
No worries. Thank you so much, guys.
Team of the week time for NBL1 women. No surprise, our guest this week, Tayah Burrows, kicking us off.
Oh, she had a massive weekend. That's going to find you in the team of the week. And as we get all the conferences rolling, this team of the week is going to be filled with massive performances. Marina Whittle had 38 points and 15 rebounds. That is a massive double-double versus Knox. She finds herself in there as well.
Jasmine Howe, speaking of massive weekends, 35 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals against Dandenong, then 20 points, 5 boards and 3 assists against Melbourne. That is a massive effort from the Mount Gambier star.
Going to sleep well after that on the road, a road double. Huge performances from her. Emily Winter finds herself in the team of the week from Woodville, 38 and 3 steals against South Adelaide. That is a pretty good effort as well. And then to round out the team of the week.
Annalee Maley, we are on rebound watch.
We are. We did challenge her to get the 30 rebounds. She had the Tassie double, had 10 points, 29 rebounds versus Hobart.
29 points.
So someone's stolen another one of her rebounds, followed it up with 19, 18 and 5 assists versus Launceston. that is an average of the Tassie double, one of the hardest doubles in NBL1 South, of 14.5 points, 23.5 rebounds. She's a rebounding machine.
She is a machine. The robot emoji. That's the one I use.
It's incredible. And we did challenge her to get 30, maybe. Maybe 40's not a completely ridiculous challenge.
Because she's, let's just say she got 30.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's taken one from her. I'm happy to say
Yep.
that. So 40, that's what we're going for, Adelaide. The challenge is set. Let's have a look at the NBL1 team of the week for the men, and getting us underway, Jeremy Grace.
Yeah, big game from him that we highlighted, 33 points, 5 rebounds versus Coburn. He looked really good out there. Someone looked like he was itching to get back on the basketball court. And then the man we just spoke to, Earnest Ross, triple doubles. Every week we're getting a triple double or two out of NBL1 Central. Had the 22, 15 and 10 versus Mavs. And I love hearing that all he cares about is winning. But if you're putting up that stat line, your team's probably going to be winning a couple of games.
It helps, doesn't it? From South Adelaide, Alex Starling, another one that's going to be in this team regularly, 37 points, 20 boards and 7 steals against Woodville.
Oh, that's a huge game, isn't it? And this is what we wanted to see. He's an excitement machine, putting up these numbers week in and week out. And as we said, he's going to be a staple. I mean, when the North starts, it's going to be hard with more games going. But when he puts up these numbers, an absolute superstar. And then from Central again, from Central District, Shaquille Maharaj, 30 and 9 versus North. That's a big win because North Adelaide had Jack Purchase from the Adelaide 36ers suit up. So that's a big time win for them.
For sure. And finishing us off is Dawam from Mount Gambier. Massive weekend, 27 points, 9 rebounds and 4 assists against Dandenong. And then a double-double against Melbourne, 20 points and 11 rebounds. They are big numbers.
That's a big double-double, especially on the road double for Mount Gambier. He was matched up against Felix von Hoff is in the Melbourne Tigers game, so it doesn't really give too much credit because that's an easy matchup. But besides that, big performance from him over the weekend. He'll sleep well.
Always good to get our weekly mention of Felix in, isn't it?
Well, yeah, of course. Have to. He pays me for that.
NBL1 North is here. It tips off on Thursday night. We cannot wait, and we can't wait to see some of the huge names that are going to be in action. We'll start by taking a look at the women, and 3 big names were picked out here who are WNBL stars, starting with Maddie Rocci at the Southern District Spartans, one of the rising stars of women's basketball. She's in the Opal squad, had a great season for the Caps in the WNBL. My eye is on her to see where she lands in the upcoming WNBL season, but for now, she's going to dominate this comp. We've got Steph Rage. She's coming off a season with the Townsville Fire. She's playing for the Flames under Shannon Seabohm. We know what she's capable of in the NBL1 competition because she went off for Frankston in 2019. And then finishing up with Kayla George for the Mackay Meteorettes, and she is a big inclusion. She is going to do big things. I'm
with you on Maddie Rocci. That's one that I'm keeping my eye on because she is a superstar already, and she's only going to get better. The older she gets, the more she plays, and going to have a huge season. And we talk about some elite numbers being put up. No doubt she'll do that. And on the men's side, Jamal Roberto was playing with the Brisbane Bullets for the NBL, so he's going to come in and want to show what he can do. He'll be one of the leading scorers, I think. He's a flat-out athlete as well. Keon Dennis, another one, DP at the Bullets. He's going to come in and be ready to put up some big numbers. And Kai Woodfall for the Southwest Metro Pirates, another one who wants to come in and just show what they can do in the NBL1. And then when the NBL finishes, there's some big names heading up north. You got Mitch McCarron, Jason Kadee, Drimmick, Sobey, Brendan Tees, Tanner Krebs. All these guys are going to come in, and we've seen some big performances last year up there in the north. So I'm looking forward to seeing these NBL players come in and try and dominate because they normally do.
They do, and it's so exciting. I mean, the comp is going to be so strong as it is, tipping off this Thursday night. But to think of the calibre of players to come into this conference is huge.
Well, it's there, and it's other conferences around the league. We talk about signings. Adelaide 36ers have some guys going to the Rockets. We've seen guys signing in the NBL1 South as well. So once NBL finishes, when we get to the actual playoffs and the finals of the national comp, it is going to be some elite basketball that we've all been waiting to see. Love that it's a national comp. It's going to be huge.
We love it. Now, make sure you are following us across socials all weekend, Pete.
NBL1, all socials. We've seen some big dunks. They're going to be on your Instagram, so make sure you follow that one. And highlights galore.
How good is the app? I'm on that app all weekend. So the NBL app, just click down, find your conference, men's, women's comp.
Well, it doesn't get much easier to navigate, does it? They've done an exceptional job of that. The highlights we talk about on Instagram, but the app is where it's all at. So jump on board and follow your favourite players or teams.
You're my favourite player.
Thank you very much. I needed one fan. I'm glad I got it. My wife doesn't even watch me anymore.
Well, no more on that. Massive weekend coming up. We are so pumped to have all the conferences underway around the country. We will be back next week to dissect it all.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go. Yeah, I was building on the